One of the greatest things about retirement, and I mean genuinely one of the greatest things, is realizing something that nobody told me was coming. You're allowed to change what no longer works for you. Not every chapter deserves another year just because you've already given it several. And you don't have to justify that to anyone, not your children, not your siblings, not your parents, not anyone. That realization has been one of the most quietly revolutionary things retirement has given me. Hi, if you're new here, my name is Leslie and welcome to my channel. It's great to have you on board. I'm recently retired. I came online after my husband passed away, built an online business from scratch, and I share this chapter of my life honestly, the retirement reality, the unexpected freedoms, and what it actually looks like to intentionally design a life that fits who you are now rather than who you used to be. We spend so much time in the lead up to retirement thinking about the practical things, the pension, the savings, the budget, whether there's enough. Will you outlive your savings? And these things matter, of course they do, but nobody really prepares you for the kind of freedom retirement brings. The permission, finally, genuinely to look at your life and ask, does this still fit? Not the life that you built 20 years ago or the version of yourself that kept that peace and said yes, squeezed into spaces that were never quite the right shape. But now, this version, the one standing here with more time behind her than she perhaps expected, and a very clear sense of what she doesn't want to spend it on. That question, does this still fit, is one of the most powerful things you can ask yourself at this stage of life. And the answer for a lot of things might surprise you. Recently, someone accused me of being difficult numerous times. And I want to talk about that because I think it's something a lot of women will recognize. Being called difficult is very subjective. It depends entirely on who is doing the calling and what they wanted from you. What was actually happening when I look at it honestly was that I no longer was willing to toe a particular line that was being dictated to me. I was done being micromanaged and controlled. Every detail under the microscope, every decision questioned, every move watched and assessed and picked apart. No, thank you. And here's what's interesting, stepping back from the situation has given me a clarity I didn't have when I was inside it, and I had been inside it for many decades. I should have done it sooner, and I can see that now. But I also know, and this is important, that I wasn't in the best place to do it sooner. I actually wasn't ready. I hadn't yet reached the point where my own peace mattered more than keeping someone else comfortable, or something else comfortable. Grief does that to you. It leaves you vulnerable in ways you don't always recognize at the time. And sometimes you stay in situations longer than you should because you simply don't have the capacity to do anything else. But retirement changed something. Having space changed something. Being able to breathe and stepping back, even when it took longer than it should have, was still the right thing to do. Better late than never, as my lovely mum would say, and far better than never at all. I want to be honest about something else too, because I think it needs to be said out loud. There are relationships in my life that I have quietly stepped back from, not with drama or with a big, long explanation. No 20-page letter justifying every decision I've ever made. Just a gradual, peaceful recognition that this no longer fits who I am or how I want to live. And that's not something I could have done 10 years ago, 20 years ago. First of all, 10 years ago, I still cared too much about what everyone thought, especially about me, and I still felt responsible for managing other people's feelings about my choices. I was still saying yes when I meant no, and I stayed when I really wanted to leave. But something changes when you reach this stage of life. You start to realize with a clarity that is both liberating and slightly shocking, I have to say, that some opinions simply don't require your energy anymore. And I think that would surprise the people uh, that I've made this decision about. And they'd probably be even more surprised that I don't actually care anymore. I have better things now to put my energy on. And some expectations, the truth is they were never yours to meet, along with the chapters which are simply done. Not because anything dramatic happened, like a big falling out or a big shocking moment. And if there was, even more reason to step back, but because you looked around one day and thought, I'm done here. And that was enough. I want to say something important because I think it gets misunderstood. Walking away from the wrong thing is not quitting, and it's not you being weak, and it certainly isn't giving up. And there's no reason on this earth to feel guilty about it. Sometimes it is exactly how you make room for everything you're refusing to quit on. This business I'm building, the community I'm growing, the content I'm creating, the relationships that genuinely fill me up rather than drain me. Those things deserve my energy. Those things deserve my yes. And every time I redirect from something that no longer fits towards something I'm genuinely building and believe in and enjoy, I feel it. That change, it's a shift, a huge shift, a sense of momentum. Because the biggest lesson that I have learned along the way is you cannot pour yourself into things that matter if you constantly pouring yourself into the things that don't. And I've been doing that way too long. And if you keep doing it, eventually something has to give. And in my experience, it's almost always the wrong thing that wins, unless you make a deliberate choice about where your energy actually goes. Intentionally designing your life sounds like something from a self-help book, I know. But what it actually means in practice, in real life at this stage, is quite simple. It means asking, what do I actually want my days to look like? Who do I want in my life? Who do I want to spend my time on? What am I building? Why am I walking? What am I walking away from and why? And what am I walking towards? Key questions. And for me, the answers have become clearer the further into retirement I get. I want mornings that are mine. I don't want to be jumping in the car and driving to an office, doing a daily commute. I want the work that I've chosen, that I am the boss of my own decisions. I want an income that I've built myself, not one that depends on someone else deciding I'm still useful or I'm not too old. I want relationships that are honest and mutual and genuinely nourishing. I want to hang out with the right people, and I want the freedom to say no without explanation and yes without guilt. And I want to keep building this channel, the content, the business, the community, because it gives my days shape and purpose and, of course, connection. That's my intentional design. It's not grand or showy, but it is completely and entirely mine. Now, if you're at that stage of life where something no longer fits, I want to give you permission, if you need it, to put it down. No dramatic exit, no long explanations, no convincing anyone of anything. Just a quiet, deeply satisfying recognition that you know where you're going and you're choosing to move toward it. Because once you know where you're going, keep moving. Now, if this video resonated with you, please give it a like and hit the subscribe button to follow along with my journey. If you know there's someone out there, a girlfriend, that needs to hear this today, please share it. And if you're curious about the online business I've built that fits entirely around this intentional life, the link is in the description below. Take a look in your own time, no pressure. All the best, and I'll see you on the next one.